That's right, it's been a while, but we're going to do another TBR, MBR general plan for February type of video. Hello and welcome to my channel. In this video, we're going to be talking about the books that I am planning to read for February. And I don't really do TBRs a whole lot anymore and haven't for a while. And I did some MBRs at some point, but I felt like most of the time when I'm like, oh, these are the books that I want to read, I either felt like I had to read those books specifically and not like switch up, or like I just picked too many, or all kinds of things. So I don't do them super often anymore. However, this month I have a lot of stuff specifically planned that I know I'm going to get to, some of which I've already started. And I was kind of trying to figure out where I was going to slot everything in. And so I made this video partially because I needed to make a list of what do I want to read this month. And I'm like, well, might as well share it with all of you. And so with that, let's talk about it. So first of all, and one I have started since I'm filming this as February started, The Trial of Rooker Flynn by A.R. Witham. I did get an e-arc of this that I meant to get to a little bit earlier and had not gotten to, and then he also sent me the audiobook specifically, which I'm really excited actually because I've not done a full audiobook of his stuff yet, because I read Blackjack physically, and then I did an e-arc of the first Rooker Flynn book, and so I just read that on my Kindle. So I've not done full audio, and I've sampled the audio, and I enjoyed it, and so I started this one on audio, and I'm really liking it. And I think I'm just gonna stick and do the whole thing audio because the narration really just does bring something even extra to it, and having the author narrate it, just really, you're getting the very true, exactly what he's going for, which I've really enjoyed. So that has definitely been a fun time. And the next up one I've been excited to get to for a bit is Reven Earth by Zamar Amar. And so I've had this on my TBR since just seeing the cover online. I had it in my wish list. I ended up getting this as a Christmas gift from a family member with it. But the funny thing is, after I had already decided I was 100% going to read this book and was already interested in it, I ended up actually interacting with the author, and he was willing, he wanted to send me a review copy. And I'm like, well, I'm going to have a physical copy. So he ended up sending me the audio for it as well. And then this is on Kindle Unlimited, so I'll probably triple format. Although I love this hardcover, so it's going to be hard for me to want to read any other format but the hardcover. But I'm probably going to do triple format on this one. I'm just excited. I honestly don't really know anything about it because it was a cover one, and with cover bias especially, I really like to just kind of go in a little bit blind. So I know some general feel things, and then I know a few other details that I've heard, but not really much, and I'm kind of keeping it that way. But I'm really excited because it seems interesting. The cover, just everything, the description sounds really cool. So I'm excited to dive into that one. And then I am going to be, as part of a buddy read, because Andrew and I have been saying we're going to read these together for so long, and neither of us have ever gone to them, but Shadow March by Tad Williams. I've really wanted to read this series. I wanted to actually read this before Last King of Ostenard, but I ended up not getting to it for so long that Last King of Ostenard was out. Look at this, the original Wayland cover as well. Beautiful. And so because of that, I ended up doing Last King of Ostenard first, obviously, but I'm really excited to get to this because it's other fantasy series, but it's a little bit different and a different world, and so I'm really excited to get to that as well. And so that one, I think we're doing one a month, but I'll be doing that one here in February for sure, as well as those other ones. And I'm really looking forward to getting to that. That'll also be another nice chunk of Tad Williams because I am working on reading all of Tad Williams, one of the authors I'm focusing on. So this is definitely a big series that I need to get to. And then due to bullying, not really, but I've given in and I'm going to try Blood Over Bright Haven by M.L. Wong. This is Andrew's doing a kind of a book club thing on his Patreon, and so I'm going to try it. I don't think this is going to be for me because I really don't like dark academia school settings, and this already reminded me of a couple of things that I'm just like, I don't know if I'm going to be a big fan, but I'm giving it a shot. This was a gift, and so I'm not getting rid of the book even if I don't like it. That's kind of why I put it off. I've been afraid I won't like it, but I'll keep it regardless. But so I'm finally going to try it, and we'll see. I joked I might just complain the whole time, but we'll see. Hopefully I will enjoy it. I did like Sword of Kaigen. This is just one of those books where the premise sounds like it's not for me, and I have been surprised before, so maybe I will be again. We'll definitely have to see there. And then naturally, I will be reading, as soon as it's out, This Inevitable Ruin by Matt Dinniman, the new Dungeon Crawler Carl book. I have been very eagerly awaiting, and I'm going to try to make sure I am not in the middle of anything on audio at that point, but even if I am, I will drop whatever I happen to be listening to at that point. which is good that I have some things I can multi-format. Yeah, as soon as this is out, I will be dropping everything to listen to it. As always, I'm tempted because I know I can read like the ebook version, but it's just not the same. It's a series I can't imagine consuming any other way than the Jeff Hayes audio, which is just phenomenal. I'm really, really excited. The last book ended with a lot of things set up that should be super, super cool. So I'm beyond excited for that. I will be getting to it post haste once it is available. And then I am hoping to get to some more review copies as well. This month, because I was starting to get caught up on my backlog, but I still have some that I've had for quite a while. So first is Aleuthian, A Tale of the Fromreer by Sam Middleton. And I've just barely started this. And so this is sci-fi, but the introduction seems very largely fantasy. And I mean, like on the cover, we've got a spaceship and a guy with a sword. So I'm really curious because this feels like this is going to be a really nice mix of sci-fantasy. And so that excites me because while I do, I'm weird with sci-fi. I don't read a ton of it, but I tend to really like, if I'm doing sci-fi, I tend to like the harder sci-fi. But if you do like sci-fantasy, then you kind of get an in as well. So it's one of those things where I'm sort of weird, and I'll probably continue to figure things out as I go along. But I'm really curious because the premise is set up is that it's going to be telling the tale of a character named Aleuthian, who's like a prince who went missing, and we're going to be told that tale. And just already some of the stuff that's brought up is some interesting world building, so we will see there. But I'm very interested for that one. And then next up I have for an ebook review copy is The Heretic by Nathan Allen. This is the first book in Runes and Ruin, and this is another one that I've had for a bit and been wanting to get to. Also a bit more on the sci-fi side, so I figure let's try a couple of these in a row. I'm doing a lot of other big fantasy stuff, and I've been doing some big, more of the epic fantasy. So I feel like I'm kind of set in a good spot to do something a little bit different. And so I'll be excited to get to this one as well. Hopefully I'll be able to get both of these finished up this month, but these are the two that I'm planning to get to specifically from my review copy stack. Finally, books with, and none of this is necessarily going to be in this order specifically as well, but books that I've wanted to get to for a little bit that I'm going to try to hopefully get to. We have first off The Bone Ships by R.J. Barker. This did win a patron poll, so I need to get to it here pretty soon. I think it's the last one that I still need to get to because I did I did my other picks, the classic, the continuing series, and so I had the new series starting, which was The Bone Ships. Now I did start this one, and I liked it just fine, but it was one of those things where I was not really in the mood for this because this is sort of like a pirate type of nautical fantasy, which I'm totally fine with, and the writing seemed good, and the kind of the premise seemed interesting. I just wasn't in the mood for it at the time, and then I ended up jumping into some very different kind of fantasy, and that was more what I was feeling. So I need to jump back into that and continue there and give that a shot. And then A Brightness Long Ago by Guy Gavriel Kay, which I'd been debating back and forth which was going to be in my next GGK book for a while, but I've been very much talked into this by Ben from Books with Mangus Khan and Zamar from Oh My God Fantasy Books as well. So they very much talked me into having that one be my next one, and it's kind of a shorter one. I think that'll be a good one. So I'm going to be hopefully getting those in. So this is a fair amount of books. And as I mentioned too, my reading time has still been a little bit limited, and January was a really down month for me. We'll talk about that. My wrap up will be coming out here shortly after this. But January was a down month as far as volume, but I did get quite a lot in at the end of the year, and I'm hoping to kind of get back in the swing here as well. And I've just been reading some stuff that I've really been enjoying lately, so I'm excited to give a lot of this a shot. But there you have it. That's really what I am planning here for February. So let me know your thoughts on any of these or what you're planning on reading this month. Otherwise, that is it for this one. So make sure to give the video a like if you enjoyed it. Check the links in the description, as always, for the Patreon if you want to support what I do, as well as the Wizardly Enclave Discord if you want to chat books, whether any of these books, other books, really anything at all. It's a lot of fun, and we'd love to have you. And of course, if you enjoy my content, make sure to subscribe.